I would love to hear of any stories that you might have regarding your experience with commercial aviation right now.
So my girlfriend, now wife, girlfriend at the time, her dad was working for an American company in Colombia, and her parents were living down there, and so for 3 straight years, I spent 2 weeks every Christmas and 2 weeks every summer in Cartagena, and then just kind of moved around to Medellin, Barranquilla, Santa Marta, some places like that. Um, but it was the first or the second time that I had gone. So my wife was actually able to fly private. So
Ah,
the company she was with flew a private jet a couple of times a week back and forth from Birmingham down to Columbia. And we went to college about 3 hours north of Birmingham. And so as long as there was room on the jet, she could fly down there for free and basically just go to the beach for the weekend. Um, I could not fly on the jet because we weren't married at the time. So I flew commercial every time I went. And it was first or second time I went, I'm coming back from Cartagena into Miami, waiting in the customs line. I've got a very tight connection, and this line is long. I mean, as you can imagine, the customs lines are no joke. And so I'm waiting, I'm staring at my watch, and this guy in a suit comes and stands next to me, and he's like, uh, it's a long line, isn't it? And I said, yeah, man, it is. I got a tight connection. And he said, well, you don't need to wait in that line. Why don't you come with me? And I kind of glanced at him. I was like, yeah, no, I don't, I'm fine. I'm fine. I can wait. And then his buddy, partner, whatever, comes and stands on the other side of me, opens up his jacket and flashes a badge. And he's like, no, really, come with us. And I was like, oh,
uh,
shoot, here we go. Um, it, and so they bring me back into this back room, and the whole time I'm just deathly terrified. I mean, I hadn't flown a
well,
whole lot
sure.
up to that point. Definitely, this was my first international flights, and I'm by myself. I'm young, and while I was down in Colombia, I got bit by a monkey.
Oh my
My own stupid fault. Like I see these monkeys, and like I've wanted to own a monkey since I was 4 years old. And so it was like I see a monkey, it looks nice. I'm gonna put my finger out there. Dumbest thing I've ever done, right? Like I'm looking at this monkey, and he's like staring at my finger, and he's like, "Oh, it's cute," and this thing bites down on my finger, and it's this little tiny capuchin, but they are strong as can be, and
Oh
I'm
wow.
yanking my finger, can't
Is
get
that
it
like
away.
the plot line to Outbreak or something? Like
Yeah, it's just something crazy like that, and I am nose to nose with this monkey, just screaming in his face, trying to get him to let go, and I'm like, ah, and he's just biting down, going, "Arr!" No joke. I had to poke this monkey in the eye to get him to let go. So I get bit by a monkey, and they got me all stitched up, gave me some shots, whatever it is that they do.
you're
They were
supposed
able
to
to get
report that
past me.
stuff when you're traveling, right? You got to like
That's
fill that
right.
out. Did you get bit by a monkey?
Yeah, well, yeah, they didn't ask that question specifically. I think they think they're smarter than that. But, so I'm filling out the customs form on the flight, and it's like, hey, have you been to any farms, contact with animals? And I'm like, nope, no time for that. So I'm waiting in line, and I'm convinced that they've gotten some kind of doctor records, and they're like, you lied on this form. I think I'm going to prison for the rest of my life. Well, they bring me back into the back room, and I'm like, and I realize that they're asking me all kinds of questions like, what were you doing in Colombia? And they think that it's drug related.
Oh my
So I ended up
gosh.
missing my flight, had to spend a night in Miami, which I mean, I guess as a 18, 19-year old, there are probably worse things to have happen. Get a free hotel room in Miami for the night. But it was just one of those nightmares of flying commercial.